Now we're going to take a look at some of the software features of the Kansas assessments. When you open the test, there will be some general directions that you will want to read. Ask your teacher if you have any questions about those. Once you're into the test, you'll see numbers across the top of the screen. Those are all of the question numbers. If there are more questions than fit across the screen, you can use the arrow keys on the right side to move back and forth. You can click on any number to get to that question. You can also use the arrows at the bottom of the screen to move back and forth between questions. You can use the clear button to start a question completely over. The box in the upper left-hand corner is your toolbox. You can see that on this practice test, there's a calculator available to you. That's just a regular 10-key calculator. There's also a graphing calculator. It's the TI-84 that most of you are used to using in your math classes. There's a highlighter, an eraser, and a striker tool. The English test also has a sticky note where you can write down some notes. The science test also has a periodic table. Some of the questions are going to have you order things, and if that's the case, you can just drag and drop the boxes, moving them wherever you'd like them to be. Notice in the upper right-hand corner there's a question mark. If you're not sure how to make the technology work, this question mark will give you some tips. Other questions are drag and drop type questions, where you just move things where you want them to go. Notice that you can scroll up and down, and sometimes you'll need to do that so that you can see the entire question. This is another drag and drop example. If you are not sure about a question and you want to come back to it later, you can click on the flag and that will turn it blue. If the question turns green, that means that you have answered the question. Some questions are matching questions, and so you will just connect the answers that you want. Other questions have drop-down menus. Here's another one where you have to scroll down to be able to see the entire thing. When you're graphing a line using this technology, you're going to double-click to make a point, and then double-click to make another point, and then the software will automatically draw a line through those points. At that point, you can then move your graph around to wherever you would like for it to be. This is another one where you double-click to make a point. Your teachers will have scratch paper available to you, and if there are any other manipulatives or tools that you would like, just ask. This one is a fill in the blank. Notice this one has squares instead of circles next to the numbers. When you have squares, that means it's a multiple mark question. Notice the instructions say select all the correct answers. If there are circles, then it is a multiple choice and there would be just one answer. So here's a multiple choice question. On the science test, you will notice that there is, for example, on this practice test, there is a leaf without a question number on it, and then there's a question number right after that. This is a simulation question where you can choose different criteria, and based on that criteria, answer the question on the next page. So you may need to go back and forth to try some different things before you select your answer. There's another example of that. In this one, you take the test tube and bring it over, and then you can put the water in the test tube and the vinegar, and then it tells you what the pH is. So you can try lots of different things until you find the answer to the question that you're looking for. When you finish the test, you will get to a review end screen. This is the screen that you will want to show to your teacher. Notice the green check marks. That means those problems have been completed. The red boxes that are empty are questions that have not been answered, and the flag are the questions that you wanted to go back and take a look at. You will need to make sure that you have all green check marks before you complete the test. Let's look at the English practice test now. Again, you will see the directions at the beginning. And again, you have the toolboxes over on the left side. The difference here is that you have a sticky note where you can type in whatever you would like to take notes. And you also have a guideline that you can use to help you as you're reading. You always need to go back to the pointer to answer your questions. And remember that sometimes there are multiple screens and you can't see everything all on the same screen unless you use the scroll bar to go down to see all of the questions. Some of the tests, especially the math test, will have more than one review end screen in one day. For example, when you switch between the calculator part and the no calculator part of the math test, there will be a review end screen in the middle. Just know that once you complete the review end screen and press end, you can't go back to those questions again. It also means that you may not be finished. You may have another part of the test that you'll need to do that day. If you do want to go back, you click the Go Back button, and then you can answer any questions that you want to.